Hi, I'm Pramod. I'm an IT professional, a manager in IBM India Private Limited, 38 years old. I live here in Pune with my wife, two young daughters, and my mother. Uh, so basically, I got to know about NS Wealth in and around, I guess, 2016, 2017, because my brother-in-law was already a client of NS Wealth. Okay, and that's how. And he had earlier, I guess, no idea about planning and stuff, financial planning. But then I could see that okay, he's at least got into that mentality. So I thought maybe why not try it.
Okay, so that you come to know about
That's how, yeah. Financial planning as such, I mean, I had that thought process from the very beginning that I somehow have to do the saving mentality I already had. My father being a government employee and a teacher. So that discipline was there in terms of spending as well. So saving, there was a lot of emphasis on it. Yeah. So that's why it was very natural, I guess, to eventually find some planner for myself. That's how I, got started with NSO. Yeah. So basically, when I think in our first couple of calls, first time I think when we met, I really liked the idea about so two things I liked about NSL basically. One is the goal based planning, which was very structured. That was not something that I had heard from anybody else before. And two was, so NSL was something that is, it looked like it was not there for themselves, like, try to suggest financial plans that are beneficial to them in terms of commission, rather than it was more focused on my personal growth in terms of finance and also wealth management and also, the stability in my career and life in general. So that's why I mean I liked NSL really from the very beginning. And I can say, that's how that I could have the trust, and it's been a journey since 2017 now, and I can recommend very easily. I've been telling many people about NSL, and NSL has not disappointed me basically. So that's why this relationship is still going strong. Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah, sure. So, firstly, the goals are very much practical, right? So, we haven't planned something out of the world, okay? Because I remember there were times where you had NSL that suggested me to, not go for some extraordinary goals like buying properties and all, right? So I really like that. And so in a way, I trusted NSL fully in terms of planning goals for me and planning, how to achieve the goals. So uh, I don't get, I guess, not so much into detail as to how you can do it for me, but yeah, NSL has done it, and I trust them. Yeah. So absolutely. See, first thing I'll tell you what, with the insurances and all, right? The kind it has been covered, there's a lot of relief now. Okay, so I'm not worried about finances, or I'm not worried about any undue incidences in life that will somehow derail my growth process, right? So at least that is covered. So that's what I like about the NSL planning. That's one. Second is the goals, right? So there are these quarterly reviews. We have annual reviews. The portal, it gives very well. Now it gives very good idea as to where we are, right? Whether we are on track or not. So it does look like yes, we are on track, and the goals that have been set are very well achievable now. Yeah. So that's how it is. I think there is a constant touch. Basically, that's also there. Right? It's not all that NSL has done a plan for me and they are out of it, and then we speak only once in a quarter. It doesn't happen. There is a constant touch with the team, right? So there is call up, there are follow up. So that's what I like about the team. So there's a very much personal touch to this. Uh, there aren't any specific incidences as such. Yeah. But one thing, like I said, right, when we were planning goals, and so we definitely wanted to, plan for some properties, be it in Pune or in Goa, my native place. You had suggested that, investing in properties may not be such a great idea, especially uh, now that we already have a home here in Pune. There's also a home in Goa. So there's no point in investing in property as such. Instead, we went for, equity and stocks and stuff like that, which I see has grown multifold. When the investments that I see now, it has helped a lot, right? So it's growing, and I'm sure it will grow in future as well, being with NSL. So that's how it is. And the other thing is, like I said, right, insurances. That's not something. I mean, people generally do LICs, right? Talking to LIC agent, and it is sort of, when you get on a job, the first thing that people try to do is LIC policy, right? So, and I'll say LIC. Why? Because I mean, people don't even call it insurance, right? So that's what it is. But yeah, with NS Wealth, I really understood, the importance of health insurance, for example, your accidental insurance, how much coverage is needed, right, to really secure your future as well, right, and not just yours, but family as a whole. So these things, right? I mean, no specific incidences as such, but the entire engagement has been very enriching. Yeah.
Anything else specific?
Yeah. Again, I mean, the view that we get, right? Like you rightly mentioned, with that 360-degree view, which was not there earlier, basically, right? I mean, I did have some investments in FDs, for example, and then there were some insurances also, in which we sometimes, wrongly consider as an investment. Yeah. So all that view was cleared, basically, right, being with NSL. And then there is this constant, as you rightly said, right, so there is a profile check, profile updates that we have to do, find out, whether there is now a need to get into a little more aggressive profile, right, when it comes to wealth management, especially, right? Having secured your basic needs, so to say, right, for future and retirement and medical and every other need. Once you've done that, and you see that, okay, you're very well placed in terms of, now investing a little more aggressively. So that's something we can do with having checked our risk profile, right? So again, it's a nice thing to have. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. But, overall, financial planning is all about your life planning. So, any to dealing with the financial planning and life planning concept, do you feel any anxiety or like the question is that how much confidence you are or secure you are and wealth wise, overall happiness in terms of financial planning advisory services that you are getting, not only from NSL but as financial planning. Do you think that is really required who are in the other space? What do you want to like to say? Do you think
for others or for myself?
Yourself first.
Okay.
What do you think about all financial planning experience till it happens?
Right.
That you mentioned you are happy.
Right.
Any wealth wise or fearness you have earlier some and now you are not feeling, so that kind of you want to share.
Right. Yeah, sure. So like I said, right, for example, I won't call it anxiety or fear, but it is more like unsurety. Okay. So earlier I was not very sure as to, what goals I can achieve, where I would be in terms of my financial status, for example, right? But having done the planning with NSL, it has given me a very good view, right? By what time I can get to, what stage, yeah. So that's what has really helped, right? And like I said, I'll say this, n number of times. The insurance planning, not looking at as an investment, right, or a tax saving thing, and looking at more like an insurance only just to secure your life. And then, like you rightly said, this is with NSWL, it's not just financial planning; it's life planning. I think I heard this number of times from you, Nitin. So it's rightly so. Okay, so it's really helped me put in a place of peace, I would say. There's no worry as such now. I mean, in terms of be it any health conditions, or for education for my daughters. We have goals for their marriages also. So in a way, a bit of everything is covered, right? Not just near future, but I a good a good 20 years down the line, right? We also, there's a retirement plan also in place. So hopefully, and then I already see that we are there, right? Very close to achieving all those goals in a way. Yeah. So that really takes out all the anxiety part of it, right? I can plan for something better, yeah, in a situation like this, right? I can really think of now, doing something else in life as well, and not just earn, yeah, and earn on a daily basis, yeah, because I see that, okay, I'm able to cover it. Yeah. So that's what has really helped.
So that makes you view happiness in life, or a real financial freedom, you can say.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. So that's what. So there's no anxiety. Basically, happiness is, again, there's no anxiety, there's no fear, right? There's no unsurety. So I'm a lot more confident as to, I'll not have issues financially, right? If any untoward incidents happen, okay, looks like I've covered all the bases here. Yeah. So there's a lot of peace of mind more than happiness, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe in near future time, when I start making a lot more money, I'll be a lot more happy. But yeah, so peace of mind is what I think is more important.
Fantastic. So what are the 2 to 3 things that you feel working with NSWell that you want to guide others to take NSWell's advisory services? Or you want to guide to the next generation to do a financial planning, which helps you really that you realize at a later stage of your life.
Correct.
You want to add something on this?
Yeah.
Why should someone today, 30-35 years at age, financial planning, do some financial planning?
Correct.
Why, according to you? So these are the 2 questions.
Sure. So firstly, so financial planning is very important, is what I feel, because the concept that we had in mind from beginning, that you have to save certain amount for your future, right? May not always work, because we've seen that money sitting in FDs or saving accounts probably will not grow at the same rate as the inflation is doing these days, right? So it is very important that we have a very guided approach, yeah. And I guess somebody like NSWell is going to help us in that, right? So I've seen the benefits myself, so I'll definitely recommend anybody. I already recommended a lot of my friends, okay, my age, who. So there is the mindset is there, but people are not aware as to what are the who are the people who they can go to. Yeah, so that's where I guess NSWell can do well, right? And this is not just for people at 30 or 40 years of age, right? Because at that point in time, so these will be the people who have tried some things and failed, and they'll now come back to investment, having already learned their lessons. But I guess it should not be too bad for people, at the age group of 25, right? And why 25? I would suggest, as soon as you start earning, probably you should start planning as well, right? So that between 21 to 25 can also be a age group which can start thinking and have a structured plan. And so like we've seen, right, in financial investment, it is an exponential growth. Every year counts, right? So every penny counts, and the longer you stay in the investment mode, the growth is exponential, right? So sooner people get into the planning mode and start saving, start investing, I think they'll reap benefits exponentially, right?
Yes.
So that's why it is important, I guess, on two terms: start early and uh, be very structured, be very disciplined about your investments, right? So I think NSL can definitely help in this.
And uh, and finally, how can the services can be better for you? Can we improve on digital first serving? First question. Can we improve on more on physical interaction? Third, can we improve on a better reporting, visualization, and automation? Anything else that you want to improve as a advisory services that you want to think as an NSL?
Yeah.
Any suggestion in terms of first digitally first service?
Yeah,
You
sure.
are into the IT, so you can say a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, so a lot depends on the service providers as well, right? Not just NSL. Because I tell you, my experience with ICICI Bank is that I never had to visit ICICI Bank, but all my work can be done over email or over calls. But same is not true about SBI. Correct? Yeah, many times I had to visit SBI personally. Yeah, with all the documents and everything in hard copies. Okay, so that's the kind of thing I have seen happen with some of the other these things also, right? Where we had to transfer stocks and all. So if some of that could, be moved to digital, I'll be really happy, because I'm not somebody who's into paperwork so much, taking printouts and signing and sending over couriers, right? So if all of this can be digitized, nothing like it. Yeah. That's one. But the second one, where I know COVID has taught us to live in a virtual world, but I guess personal touch is also very important. Yeah. So I think while we do talk to NSL team all the time, right, over chat, WhatsApp, or over calls. And then there is video chat also, quarterly at least, right? But I think personal meetings would somehow, I don't know. I would always prefer, right, talking in person. So if we can have that interaction a little more, yeah. So I'll surely prefer that. And what was the third thing?
Anything that you want to improve as what we are digitally doing? You mentioned
Okay.
that first shares or anything
Yeah.
else that whatever currently we are doing.
Right. And the visualization part you mentioned, I think reporting and all, I think it's pretty much in place now. The NSL portal, it's very good. I think initially and since I've been with you since the very beginning, I've seen it grow, right? So there were a lot of issues in the earlier portal. So now I think it is very much stabilized, right? The things that I want to know, I can get to know from the portal itself. Yeah. And of course, if not, then there is NSL team who are there to guide. And I've never seen any delay from your side. So I think the team is perfect. Right?
So we want to serve better. In that terms, what is your expectation? We are here. So I said, anything that we want to really, if that kind of is there, that's an awesome experience. Or you feel better, more we can offer, or something like that. We want to share. Anything else?
Maybe that portal, right, is fine. You got M-Profit also now as an app, because I think app is something which is more handy. You've always seen, right? I being in IT right now, the focus, I tell you, for any portals is that mobile first. Okay, so earlier that was not the case. So any website used to be designed for desktops earlier, and then there were only few functions that will be added for a mobile app. For example, approvals and stuff, right? Quick views. But now it is not the case. So any app that gets developed, any portal that gets developed, it gets developed for mobile first or tab. Yeah. So keep that in mind. So I guess you already have M Profit, which does give a good view of everything. But I don't. I think the 360 portal is
working.
So if you get that, I think it will be a lot more handy.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I think. Otherwise, I think it's all perfectly well. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, what is your nowadays? If you check, there are many youngsters are starting their career when they are earning. They start investing in their direct equity or start trading, and they realize we can do. Any realize we definitely making money. Do you have any experience in terms of in trading or something like, or what is your suggestion to that young generation who are not doing day one financial planning? They start doing some trading or something, and then they realize. Do you have any experience that you want to share in this space?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Somehow I could never get easy with trading. Okay, so I went with brokers right in between, made some money and lost a lot. Okay, and that's when I thought, yeah. Okay. So probably that's trading or equity is not my share of things, is what I thought, and then I moved to normal mutual funds. That's when and that's why I said, right. So I thought somebody like NS Wealth would be a better option than to go with stockbrokers, because that's what I had done, right. I did not study equity myself, right. I relied on them, and then I paid for it. Yeah. So I thought somebody like NS Wealth had a very good approach, right? So you did not deal into intraday and stuff, which interests the young generation of today, right? So even I keep coming back to you saying that, okay, I hear this stock is doing good, why not invest? But yeah, I I see that you have a better approach at financial things than me, so I trust NS Wealth fully on that, and I guess uh, youngsters, I know they're doing good, but stock trading is like it's a gamble, right? You make money, sometimes you lose. So there's no guarantee, because if there was guarantee, probably everybody would be making money. Nobody had to do any job, yeah, like you said once. So that's the thing, right? So if somebody is really good at it, has done his homework, and is monitoring, and then doing it as fine, but I've seen that our day-to-day life itself has become so hectic. Probably will not be able to spare so much time to study the market, yeah, and do the investment, because that may
It's a
not be
full-time commitment.
yeah, that may not be my core competency, right, or anybody else's in an IT field. So it's better to sort of delegate that task to somebody more responsible like NS Wealth, and get it done. Yeah. So that's it.
Okay, fantastic. So, anything that you want to add? You have some experience with the bias approach of banks and agent, and do you have the unbiased approach of NS Wealth we are doing. Do you want to add on this? What's really differentiate in the space of advisory or regulation license that we have as a SEBI register? What is your feeling about this bias or unbiased advice? Do you want to add in that?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I said this before as well, right? The brokers that I've worked with before, or the agents that I came across, so they would sell stuff that will bring them more commission, right? And we never discussed about my goals or what my priorities in life are, right? And that was the biggest differentiator for me to go with NSL, right? When we sat and discussed NSL for the first time, it was all about what I need to achieve. How came afterwards, right? So basically, that's what was selling factor, I will say, for NSL, right? So it's important that we figure out what is important to me, not just making money, right? So uh, so that's how, and because I've seen like I said, right, with agents selling services, or packages that are more beneficial to them and which did not necessarily benefit me. Yeah. And it has happened with couple of my life insurances where I saw that after the maturity the amount that I got back was much lesser than what I had invested in, right? So while yes, I can take it that it was an insurance and probably not for making money at the end of the day, but still when I spoke to that agent, so he said that he also did not know that okay, the maturity amount is going to be so less than what we had invested in. So that's the kind of thing that probably I understood that going with any regular agent probably may not work out in my favor. Yeah. And it's going to be the case for anybody else as well, because we see, right, there are so many agents out there uh, who may not have studied everything, right? So they know that okay, they have a policy that they have to sell and they do it and they earn commission. That's all. So there's little to do with my objectives in life and where I want to see myself in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. So that something is completely missing uh, elsewhere, right? Other financial planners. So that's where I guess NS Wealth really scores. Yeah.
So as compared, any feeling about bias approach or unbiased, like when working with NSL, do you, anytime you feel are they biased or they are not biased or what? I get a benefit of unbiasedness. Anything that you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, right? So working with NS Wealth, it seems like it's all about me, right? It doesn't feel like, you're making money giving service to me. I can see the benefits myself, right? I'm growing. I'm financially stable, more secure. I can see my investments growing, right? So there is a wealth management goal as well, which is helping me, right, for the future. Uh, of course, yes, of course. NS Wealth has its fees that they are charging, but again, it doesn't look like it is being charged based on the services that they are, as in it's for a particular policy that is being sold or something like that, right? It's for the entire portfolio, correct? So it does not look like there is any bias in the suggestions that NS Wealth makes, right? So definitely it's all in my favor. Yeah.
And you may be feeling when you started at NS Wealth, you paid some fee. Paying a fee in Indian market is very challenging. Sometimes people get a free advice. So what beliefs you that time you have, you paid a fee, you that build that trust, and then now again whatever you are paying fee, that going is increasing.
Correct.
Only approach is to create increase your net worth is our objective, or and you also make money and we also make money. So do you want to sometimes feel that the fees that we are charging is high or low, or anyone to comment on this? Nothing said to hear, just ask it.
Sure. So actually, when we had started in the beginning, I think the fees were not so much, and which I thought is fine, we can bear. At that point in time, given that the services were not really commission based, is what you said, right? Because we were investing directly into the markets as well. So there was not a lot out of those that you were earning, right? So which I may have anyways paid in terms of commission, right?
Yes.
To Government of India.
Or any other broker.
Yeah, or any other broker, right? So I think it was give and take, right? So I would have probably had to give up that money anyways, right? So why not NS Wealth use that money and plan something better for me is what I had thought. Now also sometimes because of the portfolio, I do feel that okay, and since most of the investments are long term, I don't see money coming back to my account, right, on a regular basis. But so that's where it feels that okay, sometimes the fee that I pay for NS Wealth, is it a little
higher side?
Is it on a higher side? Yeah, and we spoke of it, right? But I guess, yeah, speaking to you, if we look at a 5-year term, I can understand that, yes, I mean, so you'll make money if I make money. Yeah. So yeah, probably 5 years down the line, when I see these numbers growing at such pace, probably the fee that I'm paying right now would make sense. Yeah, is what I feel.
Okay, and till date, as we have discussed even last time, that whatever you are paying fee, you are making also money. So that, do you think the growth happens with you, and our objective is to grow you?
Correct.
The actions happens
Correct.
according to that, or
Yeah.
the whatever journey you have, you feel that actions happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I had done this myself, right, from 2017, I do not see that my portfolio would have grown so much. Yeah, two things. One is discipline, and the other is, not having any idea about the markets, right? So definitely, with NSL, the portfolio has grown multifold. Yeah, and I believe that's why the fees is growing too. So you're right. You rightly said. So you're growing. If I'm growing faster, right? So that's where it is. So
And as we charging fee, do you think over this journey of period we are adding value to whatever financials in terms of expertise, in terms of technology, to give the approach? I have also mentioned, but I have feel that we need to give more what we are getting. Okay, so that's a value addition that we say, and you require money to add the value. Correct. As you grow. So do you feel that value addition happen over the period of 6-7 years?
Yeah, definitely. I think value addition not just in terms of advisory, but also in terms of experience. I would say, right, has been there, and how we had started in 2017 and where we are today. Probably, yes, I can vouch that the experience is growing leaps and bounds, right? So definitely, I think the fees also that we are paying, I don't mind, right? Like I said, because probably I've been in a stage now that I feel much more secured, and I can see my money growing basically. Yeah.